UFC London was pretty solid. We had some controversial scorecards, some quick knockouts, and some shitty, boring fights. This is MMA John. You can call me G. Now let's quickly recap UFC London. Now let's start off the recap with the main event of the UFC London card, Lerone Murphy versus Movsar Evloev. Now with this fight, guys, I had Lerone Murphy on my early picks, and I had Movsar Evloev in the official picks. Now you know why I was pick flipping left and right on this fight. Unfortunately, Lerone Murphy couldn't get it done, but Movsar did. Despite the point deduction he had, I think in the third or fourth round, he still managed to edge out a decision. Now, one of the judges had it 47-47, and I can see why he went there. While the other ones had it, I think 48-46 or 48-47, Movsar Evloev. It was definitely a close fight. Either way, you know, either fighter, I should say, could have won. I personally had 2 rounds Murphy, 3 rounds Movsar. Overall, good fight. I wish he didn't get injured in the third round. Maybe that would have changed a few things coming in the third or fourth round. Supposedly, Lerone Murphy, if you didn't know, popped his hip in like the second or third round. Ultimately, he couldn't do much on the stand-up anyway. Those takedowns started coming in, and that's it. He was neutralized. Unfortunately, Lerone Murphy couldn't have getting it done in his hometown. But Movsar, 20-0 now, undeniable. I think it's time to give him that title shot, guys. Next fight up, we had the co-main event of the evening, Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell. Now, in this fight, we picked Luke Riley to win, and he did just that. He won by unanimous decision. He did really good. His striking was there. He landed big shots. I thought he was going to knock out Michael Aswell with those big shots, but Michael proved that his chin can handle those big haymakers that Luke Riley was throwing. Definitely has a solid chin. Good win overall for Luke Riley. UFC definitely put you here for a reason. Co-main event in that spot. They definitely try to build you up pretty quick. Next fight up, we had Evo Baranowski versus Austin Lane. Now, Evo came in here and knocked him out in less than 30 seconds. I don't really got to go over this fight. Austin Lane's pretty trash. I think they should cut him. But who knows? The UFC might, give him to someone else as a sacrifice. I don't know. He's definitely going to get knocked out on whoever he faces next. Unfortunately, Austin Lane does not deserve to be in the UFC. Evo Baranowski, we only saw 30 seconds of you. I hope you get matched up with someone else pretty soon. MVP, Michael Venom Page versus Sam Patterson. Now, this is the shitty, boring fight, or at least one of the shitty, boring fights I was referring to. This fight was basically like a chess match, a feint match, I should say. They were just feinting at each other, kind of just standing there, going back and forth, in and out of the pocket, with no action being done, no punches being thrown. It was a really weird fight. I guess they were ultimately scared of each other. I'm not 100% sure. Sam was definitely scared of the explosive power of Mike, and I guess Mike was scared of the takedowns from Sam. Unfortunately, it ended up being a shitty fight. It went all 3 rounds. We picked Michael Venom Page, and he ended up winning anyway. But unfortunately, it was a crappy performance, and you hate seeing it. You hate seeing that in the UFC, honestly. Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva. We had Curtis here, unfortunately. He gets KO'd by Danny Silva. And I thought Curtis was going to successfully implement his grappling in this fight, but he kind of couldn't. Ultimately, getting rocked in the second round, losing a TKO. Good fight overall. Danny Silva, way to show your veteran experience to that young man. As for you, Curtis Campbell, I guess you didn't deserve those pink shorts. As for the prelims, Mason Jones versus Axel Sola. We had Mason Jones, and Mason Jones wins the decision here. Axel Sola came in there hot, throwing some big shots, cutting up Mason Jones, and Mason Jones did the same thing to him. He cut him up right under the eye. It was a pretty bad cut. Axel Sola came in there and had some great power punches on Mason Jones, but that pressure from Mason Jones eventually caught up, ultimately gassing Axel Sola in the second and third round, slowing him down, and Mason Jones was able to implement that pressure that he has and avoid some of those takedown attempts from Axel Sola. And I quite frankly thought Mason Jones was going to attempt a lot of takedowns in this fight, but he actually didn't. Axel Soto was the one trying to take down Mason Jones, and he couldn't get it done, or at least effectively couldn't get it done. Mason Jones, good win. That pressure was something different. You're now 3-0 in the UFC, and it's looking pretty great for you. Nathaniel Wood versus Losane Keita. Now, similar to the main event, I ended up pick flipping here, but this time I got the short end of the stick. I went from Wood to Losane Keita, unlike the main event where I went from Murphy to Mofsar. Unfortunately, Losane Keita couldn't get it done. I fell for that little trap of, oh, Losane Keita has the strong power. He's going to knock out Wood. Yeah, sure he did. Nathaniel Wood, I should have stuck with my gut, my instincts, you and the veteran savviness, that you were going to get it done similar to what you did against Jose Delgado, because that's exactly what happened. You avoided danger, you landed your shots, and made it a nice low volume decision victory here. As for the rest of the fights, I can care less. Mario Pinto, that was a bad performance, and that was a shitty game plan. Kondrado Vicious, you tried your best to finish Antonio Tricoli, but Antonio Tricoli just decided to survive this fight. Brando Perisic gets the knockout win. I'm not surprised. You're surprised. None of us should be surprised. Shamrock, you're trash. And Chanel Dyer wins by knockout. As expected, I predicted a knockout or decision victory from Chanel Dyer. She came in there, blitzed that girl, Vervena Oliveira, and knocked her out. Got it done in the second round. Shout out to you, Chanel Dyer, but Vervena Oliveira is now 0-3 and is trash. So I can't really give you credit for that knockout win. So we'll see what happens with your friend next fight. But that was it for the recap. Let's move on to UFC Seattle. Joe Pyfer versus Israel Adesanya. And we're going to start off with the very first fight of the night. We got Thainara versus Bruna Silva. Now, I'm not going to waste your time with this one. Brazil beat her earlier in their careers a couple years ago, but things are different now. I'm taking Thainara for the sub/decision win. Thainara is levels above Bruno Brazil now. She just beat a better version of Loma Lucchini, and Bruno lost to her about 2 years ago. And I know that's not how MMA math works, but it should be an easy win for Thainara, and the odds definitely represent that. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take Thainara to get the win by sub or decision. Next fight up, we got Ricky Simon versus Adrian Yanez. Now, this one should be a good fight. Both great fighters, but I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to Ricky Simon. I think the grappling in this game is definitely going to play the factor, and I think that's why Ricky Simon can edge out a victory here. Ricky Simon can definitely take him down, control him on the ground, and earn those minutes and those control time while there. Adrian Yanez, good striker, good boxing combinations overall, and a decent takedown defense. But unfortunately, I don't think he has ever gone against a guy like Ricky Simon when it comes to the wrestling department. I definitely got Ricky Simon taking him down, like I said, and controlling him on the mat. Don't get me wrong, Adrian Yanez can definitely win here if he does the opposite, snuffs a bunch of takedowns from Ricky Simon and lands the better shots. I do think Adrian Yanez is definitely better when it comes to the stand-up department in this fight, but it's just a matter of can he, stuff those takedowns for Ricky Simon and land the better shots while on the feet. He probably can, but I don't think he will in this fight. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take Ricky Simon to take him down, land the better shots, and edge out that decision victory in this fight. So give me Ricky Simon to win by decision. Next fight up, we got Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. Now, are we finally going to see that knockout that we've been promised pretty much or expecting from Navajo Sterling? I think we do. The last 3 fights have been decisions for Navajo Sterling in the UFC, but they give him Bruno Lopez, and I'm going to be honest, in my fair opinion, my honest opinion, Bruno Lopez is kind of slow. Bruno Lopez head movement is definitely slow, and I think Navajo Sterling is going to just punch the shit out of him in this fight. And I can't see a decision win this time around. I think the volume eventually picks up, the damage adds up, and we get that knockout in the second or third round. Bruno Lopez is coming off a knockout loss of his own against Justin Jacoby, but unfortunately you can't really fault him for that. Justin Jacoby's on a knockout roll. He just happened to be the next guy up. But Navajo Sterling, undefeated, definitely hasn't really showed his skills in the most recent fights. Kind of been boring, I'm not gonna lie. But something tells me that this is the fight. This is the fight that he can definitely get the knockout win, assuming Bruno Lopez doesn't really move his head or just doesn't really move at all. So give me Navajo Sterling to get it done by knockout. Next fight up, we got Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandes. Now with this fight, guys, I'm a little bit unsure. I'll be quite honest with you. This one's a 50-50 fight. Please take the over 2.5 rounds if you're a betting man, or at least take that plus 3.5 prop on Gabriela Fernandes. She could definitely win a round or two here. Like I said, this fight is 50-50. And quite frankly, I'm not sure who wins. For the sake of the pick though, I'm going to go ahead and take Casey O'Neill to get it done by decision. I simply got her out-volume, out-striking Gabriela Fernandes on the feet. I think this fight's definitely not probably going to go to the ground. Gabriela Fernandes isn't going to really take her down. But I am a bit scared. Casey O'Neill hasn't fought in like almost 2 years, while Gabriela Fernandes has been looking pretty decent lately, beating names like Carly Judice and Kong Man. But unfortunately, I see this fight being like a minute winner versus a moment finisher type of girl. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Casey O'Neill, the girl who can win me minutes for 3 rounds and be the more volume puncher. I can see her edging out a decision by just simply doing that. I can see the total punches right now being like 100 to like 40 or 100 to like 60, giving Casey O'Neill that edge for being the more active fighter on the Octagon. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take Casey O'Neill to get it done by decision. But again, be safe, guys. Take the over 2.5 rounds or that plus 3.5 prop on the dog. Next fight up, we got Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. Tyrell Fortune's going to win here by knockout. He's going to defend those takedowns for Marcin Tybura. Tybura is 40 years old and legitly has no threat on the feet. His only threat is to take you down and try to find that sub. And I think Tyrell Fortune, ex-PFL guy, ex-Bellator guy, can definitely get it done. Not to mention, Marcin Tybura just got knocked out by a PFL guy in anti-deliver, but that's a different story. Tyrell Fortune, or whatever his name is, should get it done here. What I've seen from his tape is that he can definitely defend the takedowns, and he definitely has power in those hands. I can definitely see him here hurting Marcin Tybura and making a quick work of him. Give me Tyrell Fortune to beat 40-year-old Marcin Tybura within the first 2 rounds. Next fight up, we got Chase Hooper, an elite grappler, versus Lance Gibson Jr., a clean, explosive striker. Now I'm going to make this one quick. Lance Gibson is going to have some success early. Chase Hooper is definitely going to struggle in the first round. But the moment Chase Hooper gets him down, it might be wraps. I got Chase Hooper to win in this fight by submission or a dominant decision. Lance Gibson, your only path of victory is to knock him out early or defend those takedowns and kind of stay away from Chase and make this like a low volume striking affair where you edge out a decision at the end. But that's going to be hard to do considering that Chase Hooper is going to chain wrestling attempts and eventually get you to the ground where he's going to submit you. I got Chase Hooper to win here by sub. I think once it gets to the ground, you're going to see a large gap in skills. And don't get me wrong, Lance Gibson Jr. has never been sub, but this is the UFC level we're talking about, and this is Chase Hooper we're talking about, a guy that only gets subs. So, with that being said, we need Chase Hooper to get that submission win in this fight. But if it goes all 3 rounds, he's going to dominate, maybe 10 takedowns overall, and dominate a decision victory here as well. But anyway, give me Chase Hooper to get it done by sub or decision. Next fight up, we got Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. Now in this fight, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. I'm a bit biased towards Ignacio Bahamondes. He's currently one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and lean Ignacio Bahamondes to get it done by knockout or decision. Don't get me wrong, Tofik is strong, is powerful, can definitely knock out Ignacio Bahamondes if he enters the pocket and hits him right in the chin. But fortunately for me, I trust in Ignacio Bahamondes to be the better counter puncher, to be the more cleaner puncher, to control the range in this fight and control the distance, use his height and his reach advantage to his advantage, land the better shots. And that's not to mention, Ignacio definitely has some grappling in his back pocket. So with that being said, give me Ignacio Bahamondes to get it done by decision. You could possibly knock him out if things get a little bit too recklessly. I can see Iggy sniping him also on the feet. But like I said, give me Ignacio. The size, the reach, the control, the experience level is there. He should get it done. Give me Ignacio Bahamondes to get it done by knockout or decision. Next fight up, we got Terrance McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. And it's killed or be killed for Terrance McKinney. He's fighting here in his hometown of Seattle. So I kind of low-key want to pick him just because of that. But we all know that Terrance McKinney is round one or bust. And I'm going to make this one quick. I cannot pick a person or a fighter who can only give me 5 good minutes. Pause. But anyway, with that being said, you know where I'm going with this. Kyle Nelson should get it done by knockout or submission. I think he's definitely going to survive the first 5 minutes of the very first round and then pretty much choke out Terrance McKinney or knock him out, to be honest with you, if he doesn't already do it in the first round. Don't get me wrong, Terrance McKinney can come in here wild and just starch Kyle Nelson. From a betting standpoint, I highly encourage you guys to stay away from this fight. Take the under. More than likely it's going to be chalk regardless. But for the sake of the pick, like I said, I can't go with a guy that can only give me 5 minutes. Give me Kyle Nelson to get it done by TKO or sub. Next fight up, we got Mansour Abdul-Malik versus Yusri Belgaroui. Now in this fight, guys, this should be a decent fight here to watch. I'm going to go ahead and lean Yusri Belgaroui to get it done by knockout or decision in this fight. Now hear me out. I know he's not the greatest on the ground. He hasn't shown much of the ground game in the UFC. And I know he's going against Mansour Abdul-Malik, who's definitely going to try to take him to the ground and submit it. But Mansour Abdul-Malik, man, you have been looking kind of like lately. They keep giving you bums, so obviously you look pretty good against them. Like Antonio Tricoli, he's trash. Who else they gave you? They gave you Welsh Schultz, he's trash. And they gave you somebody else, but he was definitely trash too. Oh, and not to mention they gave you Cody Brundage, and you see what happened with that. That was a draw. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know how to assess your performances as of right now. You do good against shitty competition. They give you Cody Brundage. You low-key struggled against that veteran. Meanwhile, he's ass. He's dog water. So you kind of gave me no choice but to lean Yusri Belgaroui for the decision here. And Yusri Belgaroui, I know, like I said, he has no takedowns, no offensive grappling, I should say, and his defensive grappling is probably mid, if that. But he's definitely been against way better competition, at least in the kickboxing world. He fought Izzy twice, and he fought Alex twice. Yeah, who cares if he lost? He's fought better talent, way better talent than Cody Brundage. So that alone, I'm going to go ahead and pick Yusri Belgaroui to get it done. Let's hope he can stuff a bunch of takedowns from Mansour Abdul-Malik, because let's be honest, that's his only path to victory. Mansour Abdul-Malik has to take him down multiple times and try to hurt him while down there, or possibly land that haymaker blow on the feet, but that's highly doubted against a kickboxer like Yanez. But give me Vs Belgaroui to get it done. He's going to use that height to his advantage, keep him at bay. I know they have similar reaches, but I definitely think the better striking will come from the Vs Belgaroui side. He's definitely going to try to hurt him while standing and use those teep kicks to avoid those takedowns. And let's see what happens. Give me Vs Belgaroui to win by knockout or decision. Next fight up, guys, we got Julian Erosa versus Larian Douglas. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys, this fight looks like a setup fight for Larian Douglas to continue his knockout winning streak. Now, don't get me wrong, Julian Erosa, definitely a veteran in the game, hasn't been knocked out in the most recent fights. I think it's been a couple years now since he's been knocked out. But out of his 12 losses, like 7 of them have been knockout losses. And they gave him Larian Douglas, a guy that majority of his wins are knockouts. This is low-key scary. Don't get me wrong. Larian Douglas' resume is kind of mid, kind of trash. Anyone can knock out Cam Teague, to be honest with you. At this point, I can knock him out. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take Larian Douglas to get it done here. Julian Erosa, though, kind of scary. Got that veteran experience. Has been in there with tougher competition. The best of the best, honestly. This one should be tricky. Julian Erosa could definitely win a decision here or get knocked out. I'm going to go ahead and lean to the side of him getting knocked out. 7 knockouts. I know it's been a while, like I said, but we're about to make it 8. Give me Larian Douglas to win by knockout against Julian Erosa. Next fight up, we got a late replacement. We got Michael Chiesa versus Niko Price. I'm definitely not going to waste your time on this one. If you guys happen to see Niko Price, like 2 months ago, he got knocked out, and it was pretty bad. The dude, unfortunately, is washed. I guess he's coming here for a fun little check. Luckily for you, Michael Chiesa might not knock you out, but he's definitely going to choke you out. So give me Michael Chiesa to get it done by sub. I don't have to explain myself on this one, man. You guys know. Next fight up, we got Alexa Grasso versus Maycee Barber 2. The first time around, Alexa Grasso came in there and won a decision against Maycee Barber, but that was a couple years ago. Momentum has shifted, and Maycee Barber has vastly improved ever since then. Don't get me wrong, Alexa Grasso is still out there doing her thing, facing elite competition, and maybe that's what's blinding me right now when I come to this pick, but I'm going to go ahead and side with Maycee Barber to win the rematch this time around and implement her takedowns and her striking to get the job done here this time around. So give me Maycee Barber, take her down, control her on the ground, and ultimately win a decision here. But if you want to be a little bit on the safe side, again, take the over or take that plus 3.5 line on Alexa Grasso, considering that she already beat Maycee Barber her first time. But like I said, momentum has shifted. All the momentum is now on the Maycee Barber side. Alexa Grasso is now on 2-3 fight losing skid and definitely has lost her confidence. I got her dropping this one to Maycee Barber. She's hungry, she's younger, she's definitely going to get it done. Give me Maycee Barber to get it done by decision. Next fight up, we got the main event of the evening. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Now, hear me out, guys. I know a lot of you are going to go ahead and pick Izzy on this one. But just simply hear me out. Izzy has to outstrike him for 25 minutes. And I know Joe Pyfer definitely has those power in his hands to end this fight any given time as long as he connects. And I think a lot of you are scared of that. But let's be real. I don't think that's Joe Pyfer's game plan. If he gets a knockout, well, he gets a knockout. And I know Izzy's definitely going to be aware of those punches, but what I want him to be aware of is Joe Pyfer's takedowns. I think Joe Pyfer's going to come in here and use that power threat to his advantage and eventually get Izzy a little bit hesitant on those power punches, but ultimately he's going to just try to take him down. And when Joe Pyfer takes him down, he's going to control him on the mat for a large amount of minutes. He could definitely win here by decision, by knockout, or by sub, as long as he implements his grappling. People forget, man, They train with Sean Brady and with Pat Sabatini. Come on, guys. If you're training with those two guys, but you're still labeling my guy as a power puncher, come on. Stop doing that now. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take Joe Pyfer to get it done by sub. And that is it, boys. If you like what you see, hit the like, comment, subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next breakdown video. Peace.